Hey guys, how's it going? It is Monday, July 20th. It's 5:18 p.m. So the markets have been closed for about an hour now and kind of half green, half red on the board. But a lot of the big name stocks had a big green day, right? Look at Amazon, almost up 8%. Google up 3%, Facebook 1.4%, Microsoft up 4%. Look at the semiconductor sector, AMD up 4.4%, Micron up 3.5%. This is great if you own shares already. But it absolutely sucks if you were like me and you wanted to open up some cash secured puts, because I wanted at the very least to open up sideways and trade sideways, or ideally open up red so I can get in on some cash secured puts at a good strike price and collect a good amount of premium. But I mean, it just took off. Let's take a look at AMD here. We opened up, we opened up pretty much sideways, right? We were only up about 0.4%. But then it just took off like a rocket. We went from a low of about $54.98, so about $55, to closing up almost $2.50 on the day, right? So it was absolutely crazy. I was hoping for a dip at any point during the day. I was watching the stock like a hawk all day long, just hoping for a dip, because I really wanted to take advantage of the higher volatility the week before earnings, so higher premiums. But I just couldn't get into an option at a good strike price. Even at market open, when it was around $55, to get even at least a 0.4% return on my risk, I was looking at like a $51 or $52 strike. And I just wasn't happy with it, because at that strike, you were only about $3 away from where the stock was trading at 55. And the premiums weren't that great. I just didn't feel comfortable opening up a position, especially because it seemed that AMD was just very volatile today. I mean, all the semiconductor stocks were volatile today, and I didn't want to get assigned shares in the like $51, $52 range, especially because if I got a shares signed this week, then if AMD drops after earnings next week, which is on July 28th, so if it drops next Tuesday after I got assigned shares this Friday, then I'm going to end up bag holding for a little bit until AMD rallies back. So I didn't want to force a trade. So I said, let me just hold off. Let me just not make a play on AMD. Let me take a look at Micron to see how the setting is on Micron. And again, you can see Micron did pretty much the same thing. It opened up in the green. It went from a low of about 49.60 to ending the day at 51.21. So up almost $2 on the day for Micron as well. And again, I looked at the option change for Micron to try and open up a cash secured put, but I just could not get a good price. When Micron was around 49-ish, I would have to get in at like 47.48 for, again, a good return on my risk. But again, I didn't want only a $2 buffer on Micron, so I did not end up making any plays on Micron. In fact, in terms of my whole watch list, only a handful of stocks were in the red, and they were IWM. Actually, Raytheon RTX was in the red, but I put it on my watch list just to keep an eye on it. I haven't made a play on it. I don't really intend to as of right now, because I'm not really sold on RTX, no pun intended. But IWM was the only stock that I've traded in the past that I have a decent handle on, in my opinion, that opened up in the red and actually stayed in the red. So you can see here's a chart on IWM. So we rallied in the first 5 minutes to the green, but then we were sideways in the red, where we ended up closing down about a little over 1/4%. So I actually did end up opening a cash secured put on IWM. So I had sold that put around noontime-ish. So IWM was trading around 145's range, 145, 146. I believe it was trading around 145 when I did open up my put. And what I've started doing now is in my Discord channel, which I know not everyone has access to yet, but I'm going to start posting snapshots or screenshots of my plays. So you can follow along also in the Discord channel if you don't have a chance to watch my video. But taking a look at IWM, and we look at the options chain, I happened to get a good price, a good strike price on IWM, because I ended up getting in at roughly the 0.35% return on risk. So I was happy with that, and I got in at the $140 strike price. So I had sold it at the time. I'm on the wrong setting here, selling a put at the $140 strike price. At the time, it was trading for $54. So I'm already up $3 on the day, which is, fine, whatever. But $54 divided by a collateral of 14,000 is, like I said, just shy of 0.4% return on my risk. So I felt that was giving me a good price buffer because at the time it was about $5 or $6 away from the share price. And you can see it rallied a little bit since from when I opened the put at 146. So I have a $6 buffer right now for the next 4 days because this does expire this coming Friday for an IWM put. So I'm pretty happy with that. If I do get a sign at 140, I think it's not going to be the end of the world because IWM has been trading pretty sideways over the past few days. I mean, it's been trading kind of in this channel since June 12th of between a low of 134 and a high of about 147, which we're very close to right now. So I'm okay with that because 140 is actually underneath this Fibonacci level, which is the 61.8% Fibonacci level. So again, for IWM to break below this Fibonacci level would take a little bit more effort than normal. So I think I'm pretty secure. I mean, if I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, since this Fibonacci level is at 141 and some change, I could have sold the 141 put, and that would have netted me, let's just take a look, roughly $20, $10 to $20 more in premium. But I'm okay with 140. I'm not going to go chase the 10 or 20 extra dollars. In one of my comments before, I posted that it's impossible to get in at the valleys and get out at the peaks. Like, it's impossible to do that every single time. You may get lucky here and there, but I don't try and beat myself up if I can't get in exactly at the bottom or very close to the bottom, and I can't sell out at the top or very close to the top. Because what I'm doing is I'm chasing the bulk or the meat in the middle. I'm not going after the buns. And I think doing that, you'll save yourself from getting burned and you'll save yourself from missing out on the peaks or the valleys. So just go after the meat in the middle. That's kind of what I've been doing. Again, not financial advice, but I'm pretty happy I was able to open up a position on IWM. I still have a little bit of capital left. So, this tied up about $14,000 in collateral. So I'm really hoping that maybe we have a market sell-off, maybe some profit taking tomorrow morning. Because, here's AMD. It's been a rocket today, right? Here's Micron, similar picture, just another rocket. So I'm hoping there'll be some profit taking on AMD and Micron maybe tomorrow morning. Maybe I can open up a put or two on AMD or Micron if either one of them gives me a good setup. Because actually, looking at the RSI curve here on AMD, it is rather oversold. So I am fully expecting a little bit of a pullback at the least when we open tomorrow. So it might be a good opportunity to open up a put tomorrow morning for me. Let's take a look at Micron. I'm assuming, yep, that's even more oversold than AMD is. Or I'm sorry, overbought, I should say. Overbought, not oversold. So it's very overbought, just like AMD. So depending on which one gives me a better setup, I might put all my eggs in one basket in terms of AMD or Micron, or I might kind of split the difference and do one of each if I get a good setup just to diversify a little bit. But both AMD and Micron have decent premiums right now. AMD is a little bit better just because it has earnings coming up, but have to keep an eye on that tomorrow morning. Took a look at Disney again. Disney was, again, just very sideways today. It just kind of hovered in the 117, 118 range. Didn't really do anything. Looking at the RSI curve, it's not really overbought or oversold. I found I don't use a lot of technical indicators. I like to mess around with different ones to see what works and what I like. Like I said, I've been messing around with this DMI here at the bottom. I've been messing around with these Ichimoku clouds. But for me, I found the RSI, when stocks get oversold and overbought, I found the RSI to be what works for me personally. And also, it's actually a very simple indicator to use and to kind of understand. So I've been liking the RSI a lot lately. And actually, when I'm trading during the day, I use the RSI to determine if it's a good point or not to open up a cash secured put. So that's usually what I go by lately. So while I was watching IWM today on the intraday chart, I looked to see when, if at any point, the RSI gets close or touches the oversold category. So if we have like a big dip down during the middle of the day for whatever reason, and the RSI and the stock touches oversold, that signals to me that that's a good opportunity to open up a cash secured put. Because one, in theory, you should collect the maximum amount of premium for that time period, essentially, or for that moment in time. The premium should be good. Also, I should be able to get in at a lower strike price for a similar amount of premium. And then, because it's oversold, chances are, and what usually ends up happening, is that the next few minutes or the next half hour or so or hour, the stock usually bounces back up. So I'm almost immediately profitable on that put because I sold it when the stock price was low. The stock price bounced back up a little bit. So now automatically my puts are worth less money, meaning the premiums are less. So I've already made profit. And so as I showed you earlier in this video, I'm already up $3 on my put because I bought it for $54. Time ate away at it for about half a day, and the stock price also rose. So between the stock price rising and theta decay or time decay eating away at my premium, I'm already profitable by $3 in half a day. Now I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but to put it in another way, I sold that option, so I'm up $3. Whoever bought the option from me, that person is already down $3, right? So think about it that way in terms of which side of the transaction would you want to be on. And this is why I like Theta, because I would much rather be on the selling side of options where time is on my side, and the more time that passes, the more money I make, as opposed to being on the option buyer side where time is against you, because you need that stock price to move in your direction, but you also need it to move quickly. If time eats away, you're going to start losing money if you're an option buyer. So that's why I don't like buying options, because I feel like time is not on your side. So you have one more thing against you. Whereas when you're an option seller, even if the stock trades completely sideways for the rest of the option life, meaning it doesn't even go up 1 penny, doesn't go down 1 penny, it's just completely flat, a complete horizontal line, you will end up making max profit. Whereas on the flip side, if you're an option buyer and the stock trades completely sideways, you will make max loss. You will lose everything because the stock didn't move at all. And it certainly didn't move in the direction you needed it to. So that's why I like Theta, gang, and I like using time to my advantage. So let's just take a quick look at some of the popular options today. So Apple was popular today. I mean, I don't know if you saw Apple, but Apple took off like a rocket. So let's take a look at the chart on Apple really quickly. I mean, again, just like AMD and Micron, Apple went from about 385 as a low to almost $3.95. So almost $10 in the matter of a day. So people were obviously bullish on Apple. You can see a lot of 400 strike calls. I mean, Apple is right now at 393. So those calls are looking good right now. AMD, right? I really wish I had shares of AMD because I could have sold the covered call in AMD for a good amount of premium. I mean, look at this. $58 calls are the second most popular option right now. Very close to the Apple volume. I mean, here's another AMD. Here's another AMD. There's got to be another. Here's another AMD. Here's another AMD. So AMD was very popular today. AstraZeneca, I expected to be popular because they reported some positive vaccine news. So I knew that we were going to have like a little pump on AZN here. But I'm surprised there's not a lot of Micron here. But I guess this is partly due to AMD earnings coming up. So that's probably making AMD more popular right now than Micron. But I suspect if AMD does have good earnings, then Micron shares should also go up. It seems like the semiconductor sector, especially in terms of like AMD and NVIDIA and Micron, they all kind of tend to trade together where one stock does well, they all kind of do well. And if one stock doesn't do so well, they all kind of not do so well. The other thing I was thinking about playing was, since I can't get into AMD or Micron, why don't I look into the semiconductor ETF? So that went up to, I looked at that, you know, a great time would have been able to get in like right when the market opened, about 9:45. But again, it just wasn't a good setup. I wasn't getting good premiums. And SMH is right now at all-time highs. I mean, we closed at 163. Its pre-illness high was 152. So we're a decent margin above that. And again, I'll say it again, this is one of these ETFs that if we have another prolonged market sell-off, this is one of the things that I would like to get into on the cheap and hold long-term. Because, you know, if you were to get in at the valley here at roughly $100, you would have already been up over $60 per share in the matter of about 2 months, which is crazy. Because at 100, you would have been up 60% in two months. And like I said, I think the future is bright for semiconductors in general. So I think that's somewhere where I would personally like to have long value in. But again, not financial advice. So that was my trading day for today. Let me know if you opened up any positions. Let me know if you've been in any trades. Just ending the sector map here again. Big tech had a really good day today. It'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow morning, to see if there's going to be a lot of profit taking or sector rotation or a sell-off. I think that's what will happen, because I don't think we can have 2 straight days of 4-8% gains on big tech. I think people are going to take some profit, maybe rotate into other sectors. Banking didn't do so hot, is in the red / sideways. This is what I thought the banking sector would do last week when they had earnings, but I guess, I don't know, they were delayed or I don't know what happened, to be honest with you, last week. But yeah, that was my market play today. I opened up one cash you could put on IWM at the $140 strike price, and I collected $54 in premium for just about 0.4% return on my risk. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I know a lot of people have been asking about my Discord server, so if you missed it, first of all, why don't you have notifications turned on? But I had made a video on Saturday evening, which was my daily video post, where I showed a kind of a sizzle reel of what my Discord server is. I sent out a Discord server link, and I had it live for 24 hours because I just wanted a few people in there to be able to test the server, see if it breaks, see what works, what doesn't work, collect feedback before I roll it out to everyone, because I didn't want hundreds of people in there and then we find that things aren't working right or tweaks need to be made, and then it's really hard if everyone keeps putting posts in there trying to fix it. So I just have about 50 people or so in there right now, which were able to sign up in that 24-hour window. And we're just kind of feeling it out, making some changes, making some edits, and just collecting feedback. And then I will end up opening it again once we kind of get things squared away. So stay tuned for that. But just remember, even if you're subscribed, turn on notifications. So if I do go live and post another link from my Discord channel, you'll know exactly when it goes live and you'll be able to get in. But yeah, I have about 50 or 60 people in there right now that have been messing with it, trying out the bots. We actually chatted today, me and a few other people, trading live during market hours. So we were bouncing ideas off one another. We were, sharing data and stats and information we found. So overall, great time. There were a handful of us doing that today during market hours, but if we can get a larger group in there eventually, like if there's 100 people or more in there and we could all share ideas during market hours, I think that's my goal. And I do want to have a Discord server of serious traders that, certainly we can have fun, but there are plenty of other stock trading Discord servers out there where, 85% of the time they're just making jokes and making memes and just kind of having a good time, even during market hours. And that's all well and good. I'm a part of some of those servers, but I also wanted a place where we would have serious trading discussions where we could all kind of bounce ideas off one another and learn from one another, and in a more serious context. That way we can all make profit together, even though nothing in the Discord server, just like nothing in my YouTube channel, is financial advice. So yeah, stay tuned. It's a work in progress, but it is live for a select few people because, like I said, we're testing it. We're seeing what works and what doesn't work, what breaks, and fixing it as we go. But stay tuned for that. It will go live soon to the public. So as always, again, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, leave them below, and happy trading.